Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here with you on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Wanted to tell all the moms out there have a very happy Mother's Day this afternoon. Look at those blue skies. We have a fast main track. We have a firm turf course this afternoon. Our temporary rail is set at 10 feet, and we have a mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six. And those three turf races that we have today, 4, 7, and 9, are all part of the Rainbow Six. So going to be a very exciting day, and that kicks off in race number 4, the mandatory payouts. So getting back, fast made track, firm turf course. There's the mandatory payout. They're expecting $750,000. Almost hit it yesterday. I just lost the last one by a head, but it was so exciting, and I think it's going to be a similar situation today with the Rainbow Six. But that's a little later on. I'm flying solo this afternoon, Brian, up in Maryland for the Preakness Stakes, but as he always does, he'll have some tickets down here for us to look at. So let's look at Brian's early pick 5 ticket. And it's going to pop up, very affordable. He went too deep in race we'll talk about. He's singling in race number 2 with the 1 Kinetic Stone for Bo Chapman. I agree with that. Race number 3, he went too deep. He's got the 2 Any Moment and the number 4 Drum Roll. Same 2 horses I used this afternoon. In race number 4, he's going 3 deep in there. He's got the 2 Boats A Rockin'. We'll show you a stat with that horse. Also the number 6 horse in there, Tap to Mischief, and the number 8 Giant Teddy. We'll have a replay of that horse to show you as when we get to the second race. And in race number 5, where he's with the number 3 horse, Speed Control, number 6 Antillion, and number 7 Power Human. 4th race is where both the Rainbow Six and the Tropical Turf Pick 3 will kick off, so make sure when you're handicapping, you're aware of that. Now, getting to the first race this afternoon, we'll start off with number 2 horse in here. That's Tons of Laugh for Kathleen O'Connell, and this one first time in her barn. The horse was running at Indiana Grounds, Turfway Park, so going to try the mile 70 yards here. By the way, this race is 1 mile 70 yards, maiden claimers, and they are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. We're going to scratch the 5 Brenna and the favorite, and let's see how we scratch the 1 Estrella and the number 5 Silly Risk in race number 1. Starting it off with the number 6 horse in here, and that is List, and this one from Tariq Mubarak. And this one, you look at its last couple of races, second at the mile 70 yards, and I think off that performance with the scratch of Silly Risk in here and Estrella, looks like a major player in this race. That's the number 6 List in the race. So number 4 on top, as Brian used with that horse too. And then I have a number 4 horse in there, and that's Queen Kawaya. And this one from Manny Cirillo's barn, and comes off a decent performance at 17.5. So going to drop down a little bit this afternoon. Maybe that'll help this horse. I had used Silly Risk, on top of my ticket. Of course, that changed everything. Silly Risk was the 9-5 morning favorite. And then the other horse I used in here was, just see how this one runs with maybe the 7 horse can grab a share. Hit Music. So right now on the board, the current favorite is the 4 Mischievous Scout. And don't forget, we got scratches throughout this. And at the end of this, of course, Pete Aiello will give you all those scratches in here. Race number 2 is going to be 5 1/2 furlongs on the Peter. It's a claimer for 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 races. Scratch the 2 Roscoe Pine. Also scratch the 7 Ripton's Music. Now, Ripton's Music was my top selection here, so I bumped it up to the number 1, as I mentioned earlier, to Kinetic Stone. Kinetic Stone looks tough with the 7 out of here. Ripton's Music looked like this horse had the speed, was going to run well. Now, does Kinetic Stone take over the mantle of the speed in the race? Going 6 furlongs last time out on the main track. Now going to try the all-weather surface. So I think this is the horse that you might want to use in this race with the big scratch of the favorite Ripton's Music. Number 3, Santal. This one from the Ron Coy barn. He claimed this horse last time out in a 5 furlong Tapeta race and ran an okay 3rd there. And if you look at that race, the horse in that race who was 2nd, Transactional Guy, came back to win again. So percolating maybe a key race starting, so I think this horse will run well. I like the fact that Lionel Reyes will be in the saddle this afternoon. And then you got the floor Blazing Bouchero. And since this sire Bouchero has been throwing out horses, boy, Bouchero has been quite a sire for the all-weather surface. This horse, fifth last time out, but was only beaten 1 3/4 lengths in that race, and that was going 5.5 furlongs. So that race for Steve Caceres looks a little bit better than you might appear on paper with that fifth place finish. So I think this horse has got a good shot to run well in there. And like I said, the sire Bouchero has just been so good with horses that run on the all-weather surface. So we'll see how that plays out. Race number 3 this afternoon is going to be 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta. It's a claiming race for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. We're going to scratch the 5 Brenner and scratch the morning line favorite in there, Misprint. But Brian wanted to show you a race. It had Misprint in it, but was scratched. So we'll show you the replay with Windrush and Stewbold. Stewbold was third in that race, and Windrush was fourth. But we're going to see Misprint up there, not, as I mentioned, scratched. But we still wanted to show you this race, how well both Stewbold and Windrush ran. Misprint, a really good horse. So out of the race this afternoon, but I think this will help. You can see these 2 horses turning for home, trying to reel in, and here comes the one, and that is Misprint last time out, and does a very good job. But the other horses ran decently enough to be okay in the race. Misprint, one of those game horses, but not going to compete today for David Fawkes. So we'll see how this race plays out. Sort of changed a lot with the scratch of both Brenner and Misprint. I scratched into 2 any moment, and any moment, a couple of really nice second-place finishes against $10,000 open claimers with this horse is going to face today. Laura Cesaris is the trainer. Sammy Camacho has just been riding in great form going into the week. He was our leading rider here, so any moment, certainly a major player this afternoon. And Drumroll, I like the drop in competition for Drumroll, and I like going back to sprinting on the all-weather surface. You know, ran just a few last week thereabouts, and showed some middle race speeding. It's $20,000 claimers going. That was a mile on the turf. If you look at this horse's record on the all-weather surface, 10 races, 2 wins, a second and a third, has won at the distance, and I think the drop, more importantly, is what's going to help this horse. And you see the trainer, Carlos David, he's excellent with horses dropping in competition. So that is Drumroll. And then, as I mentioned when I showed you the race, I thought Stewbold ran good enough to grab a share in the race on the outside for trainer Ron Coy. Showed that middle speed, as you saw when we showed you the replay. Misprint reeled them all in, but I think with Misprint out of the race, maybe you look at this horse and give it a second shot. So for me in race number 3, it's 2, 4, and 8. Of course, we have rolling bet 3s throughout the afternoon, daily doubles, trifectas, superfectas, all that good stuff. But more importantly, when we come back from race number 4, well, not only will have my and Brian's Rainbow 6 tickets, we'll have my Tropical Turf Pick 3 tickets. So the 4th race is kicking off an exciting Sunday. We'll be right back.
Win big with new DRF All Access past performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access past performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
There comes a moment when the next adventure is yours to choose. Imagine your next ride, not to another destination, but to a world you step inside. My Racehorse makes real racehorse ownership possible with top trainers and accomplished owners in the sport's biggest races. Access once limited to a few, now open to you. This isn't a single race. It's the start of a lifelong pursuit. Begin the journey with My Racehorse.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron here with you. Rainbow 6, Tropical Turf Pick 3. We're going to start here. It's 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up, which have never won $20,000 twice. We have no scratches or jockey changes, and as I mentioned, mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six today. So let's check out Brian's ticket first, then we'll look at mine, and I'll show you my Tropical Turf Pick 3. $144. We'll talk about the fourth race in a minute. He's going 3 deep in race number 5. He's got the favorite in there, and that is Bless America right now with the scratch of Prince David out of the race. Lots of coverage in race number 6. I love Pure Class in there, but Brian thinks it's wide open, so he went 4 deep. His single today is the 2. Thankfully, we'll show you a replay of that horse 2 starts back when he ran on the turf. That's also where the Sunset 6 is going to kick in. Race number 8, woo, lots. He's got 4 deep in here. He does have the morning line favorite in the number 3, and that is Canton. A stat will show you on that. And lots of coverage in race number 9, wide open. And he didn't use my long shot, Our Perfect Amanda, but he certainly used a bunch. $144 for Brian. Now we'll pop up my Rainbow Six. It's $86.40. As I mentioned, we'll talk about the fourth in a moment. The fifth race, I went 4 deep in there. My top pick is that 3, Bless America. I think it's a major player, but I was trying to upset the apple cart a little bit with a couple of other horses in that race. I love Pure Class today for David Fawkes, especially at 7 furlongs. Race number 7 kicks off the Sunset 6. As I mentioned, I have the 2, thankfully, the horse that Brian singled. But I also used the 4, Royally Blue, and the number 6 horse in there, the Dove Rules. 3 deep for me in race number 8. My top pick is on the outside, Win, Place, and Show. But I had some interest in the 7, Tosca, and also the number 3 horse, Canton. As mentioned, we'll show you stat for Safi Joseph Jr. with that horse. And then the last race, race number 9, 4 deep for me. As I mentioned, my long shot is the 8, Perfect Amanda, but I used all the logical ones along the morning line favorite, Pearl of Peril, along with the 7 horse and other horses in the race 4 deep. So $86.40 for me. So Brian and I we are dueling best bets, not in the same races, but we'll see whose single gets it done today. Getting back, Tropical Turf Pick 3. Let's pop that one up, $54. Similar situation here with the 2, 4, and 8 in this opening leg of the Rainbow Six when it comes up. Also in race number 7, for me, 2 and 4, that's Thankfully and Royally Blue. And in race number 9, got my long shot again in there, and that's the 8, Perfect Amanda, but I also used the 6 horse, Downtown Row, and number 7, Ignis Core for Kent Sweezy. So that ticket is $54. So getting back to this fourth race, Boats Are Rockin' is where I went for Fernando Abreu. And this one dropping down, coming back with 9 days rest, but 17-time winner on the turf. We'll show you stat with Fernando Abreu dropping horses down 50%. He's 14%. That's usually his win percentage. He's in the money 47% of the time. So I think those are solid numbers with horses dropping in competition. Plus, I think it's a good spot for this horse. And the horse certainly loves the turf course. Not only a 17-time winner on the turf, he's got a couple of turf wins right here at Gulfstream Park. The number 8, Giant Teddy, is a horse you have to use, and we'll go back and show you a replay of Giant Teddy when this horse runs second. And there you see the number 1 horse circled there by our man Bob upstairs. I think runs a really good race. You can see this horse is down on the inside. Got to try and find some racing room. Steady just a little bit there, trying to get that racing room. And there, the seam opens up, and this horse closes nicely between horses to get it done. Almost, but look on the outside. He gets run down. I thought he ran a good race. The horse on the outside had a perfect trip. That's the number 6 horse in there, Banded Rocket. Just nails him at the wire. So we'll see how Giant Teddy runs this afternoon. Other horses you might want to look at, the number 4, Fulanito. And number 4, Fulanito, has got a shot this afternoon. Now, this horse comes off a good performance against those 50 starter optional claimers behind Esperant, Speedy, XY Speed. Runs okay. I think this is a good spot for Jose D'Angelo to wake up, ridden today by Lionel Reyes. So for me, in this race, it's 2, 8, 2, 8, 4, and then I used the 6, Tap to Mischief for Bruno Tessori. First time in his barn, formerly with Bill Mott. Don't know what we'll get today. You might want not to get beat by this horse, especially in the Rainbow or the Tropical Turf Pick 3. Flipping the page and going to race number 5 this afternoon. It's a 1-mile event. It's a claiming race for 4-year-olds in Empwood. Scratch the 4 Prince David. Brian's got a late pick 5 ticket that will pop up and show you right now and see if he says, yeah, he used a lot of horses too. He's going to use 3 deep in here. He's got 4 in race number 6. Boy, he doesn't like my Pure. He doesn't trust my number 1 horse, Pure Class. Single with Thankfully in race 7. Single right back again in race number 8 with Cora. That one for Carla Navarez. And then in the last race, 4 deep with 3, 6, 7, and 9. Similar numbers that he used in his Rainbow 6 ticket. So getting back to this race this afternoon, I went with the 3 Bless America in here, and I just thought Bless America had some really good speed. We'll show you a stat with owner-trainer Carlos David with horses going from Tepida to the main track, and he is 14%. That's lower than his percentage, but I like the fact that the horses are 49% in the money. So going to put that one on top, and as you saw, Brian had some interest in that horse this afternoon. Now, the other horses I used in the race, the number 5 Tuts Revenge. This one from Sebastian Pulgarin, first off the claim by the barn. The barn is showing some signs of life. During the championship meet, he was doing well, and he sort of leveled off, and now coming back, he's had a win already. His horses have been running well, so we'll see how this horse runs this afternoon. Tuts Revenge. Good second last time out, going 7/8 of a mile. The horse has run well at the distance in the past with 10 races and 3 wins. So certainly going to maybe move forward with that extra furlong to run at. Then you come up to number 2, Speed Control, who will show you this horse's last race. And boy, he closed nicely in this race. So we'll take a look at Speed Control. And there you can see him way back there, and he just comes closing good. And we'll watch it as this race unfolds. And you can see him, he's going to go, he's about 5 or 6 wide. Now I want to say about 5 wide, certainly taking the overland route, and he just keeps rolling along. I thought it was a good performance for him. By the way, he was 34-1 that afternoon, so he closed well to win going this mile distance. So we get this back. This was certainly a surprise at 34-1, but what a performance it was, closing well. I wasn't going to get beat by that horse this afternoon. I did go 4 deep in my Rainbow 6 ticket. The number 7 Power Unit, Victor Barboza Jr. This is a horse that they had here last year in the summertime. They brought the horse last summer up to Penn National, Delaware. Didn't showed some speed coming back in this barn. Barn is good, 28% with horses coming back off for longer than 180-day layoff. And boy, you got to respect Victor Barboza Jr. Already 12 victories at the meet. He's bouncing at like a 27% rate. So I did go 4 deep with my Rainbow 6 ticket in that race. Going to race number 6 this afternoon. Boy, do I like Pure Class in here. This one is 7 furlongs, claimers, 3-year-olds or 4 and up, which have never won 3 races or race since November 10th. Scratch the 4 Top Maverick. And here's why I like Pure Class. This is a reclaim by David Fawkes. What a year he's having. He's 40% first off the claim, but he knows this horse well. Now, the horse is going to turn back to 7 furlongs, 9 starts, 3 wins, a second and a third. Stakes place at the distance. The jock and trainer, when they hook up, they're 25% together. And I just think this horse classes up perfectly in this spot. You look at that last race, that was going a mile for the previous connections. Laura Cesares to the east side came back and win again. But I think going to that barn and cutting back to 7 furlongs, boy, I'm putting everything on this horse today, and that's the number 1 Pure Class. The other horses I used in the race, you see Brian's ticket. He used a lot of horses, both in his Rainbow and in his late pick 5. Raw ready for Victor Barboza Jr., who we just been talking about. Does this horse bounce back this afternoon? Ran well, 2 starts back at 7 furlongs, 3 starts back, 2 starts back at 6.5 furlongs. They tried 35 starter claim handicappers last time out and just does not run. Latch to Haas, Miami Frank, Golden Town just does not fire. It's a barn that you can expect it's going to bounce back this afternoon. 7-2 on the morning line. We'll see how that horse runs. You got to be a forgiving sort. Then you got the 7 Vigano. Vigano from the one, the only, Nick Zito. Now, this one hasn't been seen since February 19th, but he was sort of consistent, this horse. But if you look at that race back in February, it was avoided claim, so they put this one on the box. We'll see how it runs. I mean, on the sidelines. And Nick Zito, this horse 6-1 on the morning line. And if he can run those races that he ran here at Gulfstream against that level of competition, he's got a shot to be on the board this afternoon. Nick Juarez will be in the saddle. That is race number 6. Going to race number 7, it's 5 furlongs on the turf. It's an allowance optional claimer for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and upward. 8 will go to the post. And as I mentioned earlier, this is where the Sunset 6 is going to start. The last 3 here at Gulfstream Park, and there you see it. Last 3 at Santa Anita. $1 minimum, retail only, 15% takeout. Pretty darn good bet. So we'll see how that race is run. We have that every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Getting back to this 5th race, the number 2, thankfully, you could remember this is a horse that Brian singled in his Rainbow 6. Let's take a look at this race. It's 2 races back on the turf. Had some trouble and then sort of rebounded off that trouble. You're going to see this horse right now, and that is thankfully in the race. Just gets in a little bit of trouble here. You'll watch it here. Got a steady back, as you can see. And then has to re-rally in the race here, so you'll see him coming now. And I thought after that, good job by the guys upstairs to point the horse out. And, you know, got said it's hard to re-rally when you're at this level, and he does a pretty good job. You see him on the outside, and he runs very well in the race. So he had it all against him. Now he's just running through the stretch on his definite good lead, and we'll see how he gets it done. He's fighting right to the end. So with a clean trip, you can make a case. He was game. He's going to run much better today if he doesn't have to steady in the race. And that is number 2, being attacked here by a couple of bugs. So that's thankfully. The number 4, Royally Blue, the other horse I used on my ticket. Royally Blue for Steve Cluceras came off a pretty long layoff and didn't run badly. You know, closed, was like shuffled back and then claimed and, you know, closed to win rather impressively in that race. That was 50,000 starter optional claimers, and that was going on the Tapeta. Now, this horse has a win on the turf. 3 starts with 1 win on the Gulfstream Park turf. So we know this horse can handle the surface, ran against some pretty tough cookies last time out. So maybe this is the horse to beat this afternoon. So I didn't want to get beat with that horse. 7-2 on the morning line. The number 6, the Dove Rules, an old buddy of ours, making his 22nd career start, I believe it is. And this one also on the all-weather surface last time out for Safi Joseph Jr. 2 starts back on the all-weather surface, didn't run bad. Then you go 3 starts back on the turf, 25 optional claimers. You know, sort of breaks slow in that race and ends up finishing 5th, 3 lengths behind aforementioned, thankfully. So maybe with a clean trip and not such a wide journey, this one could bounce back this afternoon. That is race number 7. And then the inside horse maybe grabs a share, and that is Corbin's Crush. Heather Smullen, first time in the barn, was with Riley Mott here during the winter campaign. Has never tried the grass before, being the daughter of Volatile. And maybe this one can run well on the all-weather surface today. First time in the barn. Got this horse ready for it with a bullet workout on the all-weather surface right here at Gulfstream Park. So Corbin's Crush, we don't know exactly what we're going to get in there. 15-1 on the morning line. I think you put that horse somewhere on your try or super. I think that horse has a chance. Lightly raced 3-year-old, so by Volatile. So we'll see how that one runs. The 8th race, 7 furlongs, allowance optional claimer for fillies 3 years old. And you're going to scratch the 4. Don't Do It Lucy, and number 5, Coquetta Blue. And this kicks off the Coast to Coast, which we'll be also telling you about in the lightning round. There you see 2 races from here, 3 from Santa Anita, 2 hours and I think 3 minutes, if I got that correct. So retail only, same thing, 15% takeout. So we'll see how it runs, and always a popular wager. Getting back to our 8th race this afternoon, I went to the outside with Win, Place, and Show for Joe Orsino. I thought this horse was rather impressive last time out, winning by a head in the slop. So maybe this horse bounces back and runs well in here for Win, Place, and Show for Joe Orsino with Edwin Gonzalez. But I think it's way more wide open than that. You got the 7 Tuska from Mary Lightning. Boy, has Mary Lightning been going good. You look at that last race, that was on a good sealed track, got first-time Lasix, and this horse ran very well just to get beat a length. Drifted through the lane. I'm thinking second time with the Lasix is going to be positive, and the stretch out to 7 furlongs is going to help this horse this afternoon. Tosca, a nice price of 8-1 on the morning line. Don't know if you're going to get that with the 2 scratches in the race. And then you have the number 3, Canton, in the race, and this is Safi Joseph Jr., and this one is a foal to a horse called Basin, who was a Grade 1 winner, was second in the Arkansas Derby. So good breeding here. Want to show you a stat with Safi Joseph horses going from turf to dirt. He's 20%, 51% in the money. Those are a little low for Safi Joseph Jr. He's got his go-to rider in the saddle today. Micah Husband's back from ship up to New York last time out. I thought he ran well in there. Maybe you look at the 2 Cora. I know that Brian used this horse. Cora is coming out of a race that produced a couple of out winners at Tampa Bay Downs. That was going a mile, 40 yards, and it was against $75,000 optional claimers. You look 2 starts back, and it's Maiden. They knew about this horse going 7 furlongs in that day for Maiden 32 win, off at 20 cents to the dollar. So we'll see what we get for Carlo Navarez with Edgar Perez in the saddle. Our 9th and final race of the afternoon is going to be 5 furlongs on the turf, and it's a really nice race this afternoon. These are maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the 2 Diva Encounter. And Diva Encounter, Brian likes Marcy Oates, Marcy Oates, like the dance, I guess. So let's show the workout he has for this horse that makes Brian like this horse this afternoon before I tell you about my long shot. And there it is, cruising on the outside, Marcy Oates. Works pretty good on this. I think it was on the 19th of April. Wasn't it 19th of April, if I remember correctly? Yeah. And runs really nice. It's a pretty good performance. So Brian thinks this horse is going to run well, shipping in today and running for the connections of Marcus Vitale. So we'll see how that horse runs. Boy, this has got to be a long shot in here. So I didn't have him on my ticket. The number 8 is where I went this afternoon, and let me shuffle these papers around, and it's Our Perfect Amanda, and I'll tell you about this horse. Now, if you look, bred on both sides of the family tree to love the turf. This horse is by Leinster. Leinster has been running so well on the turf, all the progeny have been running so well on turf, especially here at Gulfstream Park. Matter of fact, won one of the stakes yesterday, a daughter of Leinster. This horse, if you look, was parked 6 wide, going to 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Lots of speed to this horse's inside. I think sits in the catbird seat on the outside. And boy, I love when Lionel Reyes is riding a long shot for me. This one 12-1 on the morning line. Now, morning line favorite in there is the number 6 horse, and we'll flip the page here and go to number 6, Downtown Row, and it's Mike Lerman on the drop. This horse tried $50,000 maiden optional claimers last time out, going 5 on the Tapeta, going to try the turf. Now, if you go back to its turf debut back in February during the championship meet, when it was real tough to win around here, this horse was only beaten 3 lengths. So we'll see with the drop today what Downtown Row does. The number 7, Ignis Core. Ignis Core, this one from Kent Sweezy. Another one you have to go all the way back to its debut in February. Here, and he runs behind I Love Giraffes, which turns out to be a pretty good horse during the championship meet. Now, last time they try a mile in his 16th on the turf, and he just gets run off his feet going that long distance. I think the turn back is going to help this horse this afternoon. So that is the 9 for me, but I'm not done. I'm going to still do the lightning round here, and it's a pretty good one because we get to see what happened yesterday in our stakes races. So let's take a look. We'll start it off with a real thriller in here, and that's Celtic Dispute. Just nailing Scara and the Royal Palm Juvenile, and that's the one I was mentioning, the daughter of Leinster. Now you're going to see it here. Boy, the 3 and the 8, they put it down in the stretch. It was like, I thought the 8 was going to win it. I mean, I picked the 3, but I thought it was the 8 all along. You could see here, right, everybody was screaming and coming to the wire, and boom, just gets up under the shadow of the wire to win it. It was so fast. I mean, so good. It was a good thing. Reason I mentioned fast, because that's who we're going to look at now. With Liberty Rings and Wires in the Juvenile Palm Juvenile fillies. Both of these horses have invitations to Royal Ascot. That's what makes it so great. These races have been very popular. It's one of the greatest things we have here in the summer. And you're going to just see this horse. Nobody was catching Liberty Rings this afternoon for the connections. Just a good performance. And we'll see if they all head to Royal Ascot and wear all that finery, the top hats and all that good stuff. As I mentioned throughout the show, mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six today. Races 4 through 9. They're expecting $750,000 or thereabout. We mentioned already a couple of times, but we'll do it again. We got the Coast to Coast. We got the Sunset Six this afternoon. And the first one, Sunset Six, that kicks off in 4:04. The last 3 here, the last 3 at Santa Anita. And the Coast to Coast, we got a couple here and 3 at our sister track, Santa Anita. Retail only on both of those. Let's check out Brian's best bet of the afternoon today, and we'll see what it is. And he has got race number 2, Kinetic Stone, 2-1 on the morning line. My best bet, you know it, it's in race number 6. It's the one pure class. Long shot for Brian. I got to believe it's in the last race with Marcy Oates, 10-1 on the morning line. And I also in the last race have the number 8, Our Perfect Amanda, daughter of Leinster. So that is for me. We'll turn it over to Pete Aiello. I'll catch my breath, and I'll be back here for race number 1.